Welcome to the second largest talk show in R2DA. Today, I will be reviewing the game from a beginner's perspective, discussing VIP server prices, and will be doing community suggestions. Let's get talking. A common thing that I see on the wiki is people complaining about how the game is unwelcoming.
There are not enough low-rank weapons. PR prioritizes high ranks. Noobs have a hard time enjoying the game.
These are things that you hear all of the time. The last time that I was a low rank in R2DA was in 2016, so I can't agree or disagree with any of these statements. But I was curious, so I made an alt account and started from zero. To my surprise, the game isn't that bad with beginners. I'll explain why. Firstly, the game has a tutorial. What else is there to say? It teaches you the controls and movements and lets you figure the rest for yourself. After the tutorial, you level up and get a free weapon, a tin pot. Nothing special, but still better than nothing. Once you are done with the tutorial, you are open to the world of R2DA. You can go to the easy servers or the harder ones. The game doesn't teach you which one is which though, but it makes sense for the newbie to go to a beginner server if they want to start from zero. Although that might not be the case when the first thing you see are clickbait servers that promise good things. Just wish that the game would explain what each universe means. And yes, this game gives beginners the chance of playing on an exclusive server for them. In there, they can learn the bells and whistles of the game without much of a disturbance from the higher ranked players and the harder zombies. This is great. As soon as I joined a beginner server, I, like most other players on their first game, spawned as a zombie. When I was playing on my alt, I wouldn't do anything that the game hasn't taught me yet. So if the game never taught me how to jump, I wouldn't jump. I tried to replicate that experience of a new player. So I spawned and couldn't control any of the special zombies because there was no clue on what I was supposed to do. After continuously getting shot at, I eventually got a pop-up telling me a single control. Seriously? This is the way that you expect the newbies to learn? These random messages that mysteriously appear while you are playing the game will get people frustrated. And the worst thing is, some of the newer zombie controls don't even show up. These things will influence players to stop playing. Why not have a second tutorial that plays after the first one where it teaches you about the zombies? You could spawn as each zombie and be given targets to eliminate, like the original tutorial. The point of the tutorial is to not leave any questions unanswered, yet there are still confusions. The zombie tutorial should be a top priority on PR's to-do list. A rank 11 player is no longer allowed to play in a beginner server. So it's safe to say that low ranks are players from rank 0 to 10. In that stretch, you get to unlock 16 weapons. This doesn't seem to be a lot, considering the fact that there are 37 weapons, but you have to realize that low ranks are not low ranks for eternity. They will eventually stop using their lower rank weapons for higher ranked ones. I see why PR isn't making more low rank weapons. A gun takes time to make, and making weapons for lower ranked players that are going to quickly abandon them doesn't make much sense, especially when the arsenal they have is already decent enough. Although making lower ranked weapons isn't a priority, PR could still make more lower ranked weapons because they are fun. Let the lower ranked players have more choices. I don't see this as a reason to complain or a priority for PR though. After playing R2DA as a beginner, I can conclude that PR is treating lower ranked players pretty fairly. The game teaches them well and gives them a separate universe. I still think that PR should add a dedicated zombie tutorial though, as all the controls can easily get confusing to memorize. Despite this, R2DA is still not a welcoming game for most of the people who play Roblox. R2DA is complex and punishing. These are things that are rooted into the game and can't be changed. Winning a round of R2DA doesn't compare to receiving something in a tycoon or simulator game. I understand why new players can get frustrated by playing R2DA, The game is simply not for the masses. There's nothing we can do about this. But if you are a player who already has some experience with first-person shooters and complex games, then you can easily get in and have fun. Although that's almost no one in Roblox, unfortunately. If you disagree, you are welcome to comment down below. I'll be reading the comments. A VIP server in R2DA costs 500 Robux a month. That's around $5 to $6 a month. To compare, you could get a Roblox Builders Club subscription for that money. You could also buy 5 Arsenal VIP servers, 2.5 jailbreak ones, and 50 murder mystery ones. But why are the prices so dang high? Is a VIP server in R2DA worth it? Let's find out. Since my content requires the use of a VIP server, I bought one, despite the ridiculous price. When I opened it, I get introduced by a new menu that my eyes have never witnessed. After agreeing to some rules, you are open to the freedom of doing whatever you want to with the server. You have so many options here, it's amazing! While other games simply give you a private server with a link and a few commands, R2DA lets you decide what you want to do with the server. You can customize the maps, the game modes allowed, and disable systems found in normal servers to balance the game. And you know what the best thing is? You don't need friends to have a full server. Make the server public and let anyone see what makes your server fun. Unfortunately, unless you have a farming server, a melee smash server, a boss fight server, or a campaign server, no one is going to join you. I've had many fun ideas for VIP servers, but they only get around 8 people, which is unbearably boring for zombie gameplay. Another thing that sets the VIP servers apart are the green light maps. Green light is where the maps that are not good enough for the real game but are still fun to mess around with go. But there are only 4 maps, 3 which are old R2D maps. When the system was originally announced, I thought that PR would add all of the R2D maps plus add some random suggestions, not even having the quality in mind just cause. I mean, it's greenlight after all. I thought that there would be a special menu where you can select a specific map from a long list of them. But no, it's basically normal maps except you can only see them in VIP servers. Cause you know, PR. I don't know why I expected this from him. Some other things that the VIP server lets you do is use kill, kick, and warn commands, choose a map during the intermission, and lets you play any song from the R2DA soundtrack, and that's it. R2DA obviously gives you more to do with your VIP servers than other Roblox games, but is it still worth it? No. 500 Robux is still 500 Robux, and despite all these cool features, I'm still just going to use the VIP server for things that you could do in a normal server if it was locked. Also, I feel that hosting a public server is not worth it, since it's going to be empty most of the time, or you're just going to copy an already existing server. I constantly have to remind myself that keeping a VIP server running for a year will cost me around $60. You could buy a AAA game that lasts you for eternity for that price, or host a VIP server for a year, which you are probably not going to be using most of the time. I would quickly like to add that I don't know the background of the development process of R2DA, or why the prices are so high. So I'm not criticizing PR for setting the prices high. I'm just saying, for the things that the average R2DA player will be using the VIP server for, I don't think it's worth it. Also, I'm kind of a cheapskate, so I don't think I'm the best person to criticize the cost fairly. I would like to hear what you guys think. Lastly, I'm going to be responding to community suggestions. I'll be viewing a few that I found the most interesting. I know this isn't the best way of representing the entire community, but I can't cover every single suggestion in detail. If you want me to give my opinion on a specific topic, you can message me on Discord and I'll tell you what I think. Anyways, the first topic I'll be viewing was suggested by Kaikui123, the future of attachments. People want more of them. Attachments have always been underwhelming in R2DA. Some don't change anything drastic about the gun, while others are cosmetic. There are a few that are mandatory and significant, while there are others that simply don't exist for a gun. This inconsistency is what makes attachments so uninteresting. You barely change the attachments to your gun. You usually keep one equipped for the rest of your life and that's it. There can be a large variety of attachments, but usually one is clearly the best one, so the rest are useless. To make attachments more interesting, we should add more top tier attachments that can compete with what are considered to be the best ones. This can make us choose an attachment depending on what works best for us instead of what the best one is. The cool thing about attachments is that it gives us a choice on what we want to do with a weapon, but this game barely gives us a choice and it's obvious which ones work best overall. I won't be giving suggestions for attachments since I don't know anything about firearms. The second topic is going to be the current state of diggers. Should it be nerfed? I think it should, but not the way that most people want it to be nerfed. Most people want to remove the trip ability, although I disagree. The trip ability is what makes the digger special. Removing it will make the digger into a normal zombie with faster walk speed and transportation. To nerf the digger, we should lower its health. If a digger is rushing at you, it's hard to take it down before it trips you. It can survive a barrage shot for crying out loud. Lowering its health will force the digger to sneak around and hit people when they don't expect him. Running in the open straight to someone will no longer be a valid choice. The trips won't occur as often, but they will still be punishing, as the game should be. As for specific numbers, I'm not sure. I think the digger needs testing before we can have a conclusive number. The final suggestion is by Wikiacolors. He asked me to rate the R2DA staff. I refuse to rate the staff because I don't know the inner workings of it and don't know how it could improve. If I give something a bad score, it's because there can be improvement, but I can't suggest any improvement since I don't know anything. What I do want to say is that the fact that there is a moderation system is surprising. Having a mod call feature that is always there when you need it is useful, especially in a competitive game like R2DA. Also, I feel that the rulebook is very professional. Having clearly stated rules that people can use to fight any unfair bans or mods can use to justify bans will clear any doubts. If the rulebook says it, then it's true. The staff is what makes the entire system possible and they deserve credit for it. Those are all of the suggestions that I will be viewing today. You can submit more in my Discord server. Thank you for watching the second episode of R2DA SIP. I'll be traveling for the entirety of July, so I won't be uploading for the rest of the month. Thank you guys for your patience.